Well, we've all gotten those seminar mailers. You probably got them too. I got one recently. I want to talk about this week. Is it financial planning or a product pitch? How can you tell the difference?
Welcome to Something More with Chris Boyd. Chris Boyd is a certified financial planner practitioner and senior vice president financial advisor at Wealth Enhancement Group, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. We call it Something More because we'd like to talk not only about those important dollar and cents issues, but also the quality of life issues that make the money matters matter. Here he is, your fulfillment facilitator, your partner in prosperity, advising clients on Cape Cod and across the country. Here's your host, J. Christopher Boyd.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Chris Boyd, and I'm here with Russ Ball and Jeff Perry, and we're all of the AMR team at Wealth Enhancement. Glad to have you with us, and thought we would do an episode for a change on these seminar invitations that I got one in the mail, and as I was reviewing it, I was thinking, I don't know, this is not really financial planning. It's funny. We've done these kind of events, a dinner event.
Sure.
And, I think the challenge is, sometimes people get these and they really do wonder, am I going to be sold product? Is there a big pitch? Is it a heavy sale? Are they going to twist my arm? Right.
Is there a timeshare involved?
Yeah, kind of, right. Feels like that. So when we do this kind of stuff, we're trying to educate people and draw them into being interested in whether we could be a resource to them. Okay. However, I came across this recent flyer, and it talking about some recent events and doing some planning, financial planning. So I looked at the advisor who was giving the financial planning seminar.
Is that the right word?
Well, I noticed he's not a financial planner. He's talking about financial planning, but he's an insurance agent.
Not the first time we saw this.
So no, that's not to say that someone who is an insurance agent couldn't possibly actually do a financial plan, but I'd say that's a red flag, right? Maybe it's not someone who is truly a fiduciary doing planning as the basis of what they might recommend. So I went through the materials and started looking at. They had a variety of bullets.
A free dinner. I saw that.
Yeah. Everyone likes free dinner. Is it free? Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, yeah. But it really comes down to, there were a couple of things, and I thought not everything mentioned in the series of discussions would be suggest an annuity sale, but there were a few things that caught my eye as indicating this is probably going to result in an annuity recommendation. Product. Yeah. So on the one hand, talking about taxes, talking about the big beautiful bill. Well, that's probably some good information that's relevant to understand, what's changed, what are the details. That's probably useful, right? Mm-hmm. Might apply to people. Talking about strategies like Roth conversions. These are helpful. These are
they could be.
You could at times, these can be good techniques and tactics, and the way we might want to try to navigate our personal tax forecast, right? One of the topics was about market volatility, and that catches my eye because I know one of the hooks that often is used to talk about the purchase of a annuity with a long surrender charge cost can be stop the losses, have market access,
be protected
without downside risk. Now, what do you think?
Sounds too good to be true.
It sounds too good to be true. And it is. Now, it's not to say that there aren't products that can provide us downside risk mitigation, but it comes at a cost. We don't get full participation in the upside.
Right.
or there can be high internal costs in a product, right? So there can be a variety of ways, but this often is the hook for maybe an equity indexed annuity or some kind of variable annuity with lifetime guarantees that are an income stream, but I have to stay in the product. We had an individual in here the other day, had a variable annuity, bought it after the market downturn, reasonable, of 2008, right? And understandable, and after a big market disruption, this might have more appeal to you. Fortunately, in this instance, it wasn't a big part of their wealth, so it was a compliment to other things they did. But if you're in a position where you're drawn into this kind of thing and you say, "Oh, I don't want that," you can have a variable annuity that has 4% embedded costs annually,
Mhm.
just a drain on performance. No wonder the guaranteed cost or performance is going to be better. It has this artificial account that will grow by a certain percentage, and then you can take 5% or something, some percentage off of that for life. Um, well, you're paying embedded expenses as part of how you get that feature, which is going to be a guaranteed income.
Right.
And you end up in that product for 30 years paying 4% per year.
Or
Well,
you pay a big fee to get out of it.
or you pay a big fee to get out of it oftentimes.
Mhm.
So whether it's a variable product, one that's sold by prospectus, they at least disclose to me how much am I paying for these various features.
Mm.
And then annuity, yeah, it's hard to find, but
Yeah,
we can find it, but it's
they
harder
legally disclose it, but you're probably not going to be
buried in
aware
the
of it.
tissue paper. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then for the equity indexed annuity, a fixed product, an insurance product, not sold by prospectus, not one sold through a broker dealer or something that has a FINRA, showing my age, FINRA oversight or SEC oversight. It's not disclosed. We don't know what those costs are. As I always say, if one hand they're disclosing it and it's pretty high cost, and the other hand they're not disclosing it, do you think it's going to be higher or lower? I think it's going to be higher embedded costs.
For sure.
So anyway, that was one caught my eye. Watch out for things like stop market losses or market, eliminate market risk or something to that effect. That's a indication.
Yeah.
Another
Stop the
topic,
losses.
another topic was about Social Security timing, and that's a good planning topic. I think one that we all have to give thought to and strategize around. But then there was retirement income.
There it is.
Yeah, you want to take that?
No, all these things do go together. I can, when reading the bullet points on the invitation, to me, this just looks like a cut and paste from the presentation plan. This is it. It's all going to lead to, if you're worried about these things and you want some guaranteed income and you don't want to worry about market volatility, so forth. And
Yeah,
if Social Security is not going to be enough, it might even go away. Fear-based stuff,
before, yep, fear-based
Um,
stuff. That's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that as
that's
the hook there. Yeah,
well, it said when to take it. Is it safe? Will it be there for your future?
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have to worry
Fear,
about it because
fear.
I have something for you, and that's a guaranteed stream of income for the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about it. The market can do whatever it wants. Social Security can do whatever it wants.
Oh, that sounds
We
good.
we have a plan for you, and you'll
Now,
sleep
this is
better at
not to
night.
say that an annuity can't be a useful tool as part of
Oh, we
your.
use them from time if it's appropriate.
Yeah. So I don't want to be like Fisher saying never ever, but I kind of feel like Fisher a little bit more. It's something to be very guarded about because there are these embedded costs and there's a lot of abuse of this. So how
Oh,
do you
people
know?
people have gotten in. I mean, people have gotten in trouble. These types of companies. I don't know if this one has, but companies like this have been in the news from time to time where they've been reprimanded for like pushing that line
Right.
too far to being a financial advisor.
So how do you know if the person you're going to work with is reputable, has at least has a good reputation, has been how they've been dealt with in the past? Have other clients, have other people complained about whether or not they're doing things ethically and above
Right.
board? So
Yep.
there's no a perfect solution to identify that, but one possibility is this. You can look up something called broker check.
Hmm.
Now, broker check is a tool put out through FINRA for people who are registered as either securities licenses or even I think you can get someone who has an investment advisory license to show up on under broker check. But if not, there's another tool. What is that one called?
Advisor info.
Advisorinfo.sec.gov.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And that can give you some insight as to the the veracity or the quality of the, if there's complaints, at least it doesn't guarantee that the person is ethical. It just indicates whether they've had complaints.
Right.
um, so that'd be step one. Look for something that indicates whether there's a good resource to say, is this person had past problems? Now, that's one. Now, number two, you could, and of course, not everything is definitive, but it's a red flag. You know what I mean? If just because someone had a complaint, could be
Right.
someone was irrational and it was not, a reasonable complaint or anything.
Sure.
But generally, I think it would be a concern to me if I'm dealing with someone who's had these kind of issues in the past, right? So
Yep.
I'd be reluctant to or I'd be at least on guard, right? Why pick someone who's had these kind of issues if you could avoid it? So the other thing I would look at is maybe their CFP experience, their credentials. Do they have a CFP? Are they a CHFC if they're coming out of the insurance industry?
Hmm.
Are they, if they're coming out of a CPA world, do they have the PFS? These are quality credentials that take time to obtain and do indicate an inclination to do financial planning as the way they approach. It's not an absolute, but again, it's at least a help. And if they're a CFP, for example,
Hmm.
um, do they have a blemish that the CFP board has identified? An issue, any complaint of something like that. Jeff, you talk about some things to ask your advisor all the time. Yeah, three things.
Three things. And if you happen to go to a dinner like this because you like pork tenderloin, for example, and you want the free meal, maybe for your entertainment, if nothing else, raise your hand and say, I have three questions. Number
Yeah,
one, are you a fiduciary, which means an ethical and legal standard that you have to, meaning the person, the advisor, or this person, the salesman, they have to act in your best interest, not just what is suitable, not just it's not horrible. They have to know you, get to know you, and they have to act in your best interest. So, are you a
right.
fiduciary? Um, this one we're talking about, we're not going to give a name, but
No, no,
the answer is no, probably.
right.
They might dance around it and say, no, I have this license over here or this, that. But if they don't give you a straight answer, are you a fiduciary? I would be skeptical. Number two, which is really going to apply here, how are you compensated for this financial plan, for this
Right.
advice, for this product? And if they can't, I mean, when we get that question, we tell people during the introductory process what our fee is
Right.
quickly. But if somebody can't answer you in 30 seconds, or they answer you and you have no idea what they said,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that should really raise a red
I
flag.
mean, someone's likely to answer that saying, "Oh, I get paid a commission if you buy a product."
That's
That's a
fine. How
fine
much is your
answer,
how
but
is the how
how
much is
how does that, what's that translate to is sometimes helpful to understand because
that's right.
how long a term product can affect how much they get compensated.
That's right. The details of it.
Well, it just making me think that often, with these commission-based products, it's like, especially if they're marketing themselves as a financial planner, you think, okay, well, that person's going to be my point of contact. I'm going to be talking to this person. We're going to be reviewing this. But a lot of the time with these commission-based products, it's like they sell the product, and that's kind of it. There's not any plan for additional interaction necessarily. If there's an issue, maybe call them, but maybe we call them and they're working for a different company. So that happens a lot, and we see that a lot too.
A lot of turnover in this particular industry. And so, are you a fiduciary? How are you compensated? And where are my funds held? Is the custodian. And I'm going to add in just a couple of quick commentaries. If you're looking for a financial plan, work with a team that has a CFP at the top of the totem pole. Everybody in the office isn't a CFP in most offices, but I know you are, Chris, and so work with people who have these credentials. They're not only a demonstration of competence and experience, but there's also standards that they are
there's ethical standards, there's experience, there's education, ongoing education, and so forth.
Absolutely. And just go into these things. I hate to say it but it's the whole world now. Go into these things skeptical.
Yeah, and I think in this kind of scenario where they're talking about a financial plan, I think it's reasonable to say, will you provide me an actual comprehensive financial plan? What does that look like? That kind of thing. Elaborate on what that is.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, unless someone is a client of a good financial planner, you
might not know what to look for.
Right. They'll give you a printout, and they'll call it a financial plan.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So and there's nothing wrong with pausing. Things sound really good when you have a professional who's done this 1,000 times and knows all the objections and has all the answers memorized to all the questions that might come up. But if it sounds good, that's fine. But get some advice from a fiduciary, from a financial planner who doesn't have a horse in that race, so to speak.
Yeah.
And get a second opinion.
What's interesting to me? I was surprised to find that there's no insurance equivalent to the broker check. There's no, there's like something by the National Association of Insurance. I forget what it is, commissioners or something. But there's nothing that actually gives you useful insight as to, has this person had complaints?
Yeah.
They're either an insurance producer or they're not. You know what I mean? That's kind of the extent. It just tells you how long or whatever. And not a whole lot of insight.
Doctors, lawyers, CFPs. I mean, you can check them for their complaint records and their educational history and how long they've been at each firm. All the things like you were mentioning, Russ. You can actually see like how much experience does this person have, and have they had a rule violation? Have they had a misstep? And you should check out your doctors, lawyers, and financial planners. But it's concerning when someone is pitching you something that it's very difficult to really understand what the product is in their own history.
Well, I guess it's one of those instances, buyer beware. Just be alert. You do have to be a little bit skeptical. A little bit cautious. It is a big trust factor when you're working with a financial professional. We all recognize that. And, if you're feeling rushed, that's an indication.
Right.
If you feel like you don't fully understand what's being suggested, how it's being proposed as solutions, how it works, don't just say, well, you seem like you understand it, or I trust you. As much as we love it, we want people to trust us. We want them to understand what's being recommended and why, and don't want them to feel frustrated if they buy something or do something, they go down a path that they don't understand, and then it doesn't work the way they expect it. You really want to have clear expectations, and that takes education and that takes time. So work with a professional who will care enough to do that process, keep you educated along the way.
And,
So, yeah.
and if annuity is right for you, your financial advisor, who's a fiduciary, can help you get one.
There you go.
It's not only sold by salesmen.
Yeah, there are actually products that are non-commission products that you can get access to. Otherwise, in our case, we can work with your professional, your insurance professional, to help you find the right product that fits into your financial plan as well.
Right.
So in any case, all right, thanks guys. This was a good discussion. My little rant. If you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you're unsure whether something is a good fit for you, maybe whether you've been put in a product and you don't know quite work with this product, is this a good fit, or just how it fits into the context of everything else, do a financial plan. Let us help you in the context of it, how it all fits together. Until next time, everybody, keep striving for something more.
Thank you for listening to Something More with Chris Boyd. Call us for help, whether it's for financial planning or portfolio management, insurance concerns, or those quality of life issues that make the money matters matter. Whatever's on your mind, visit us at somethingmorewithchrisboyd.com or call us toll free at 866-771-8901, or send us your questions to amr-info@wealthenhancement.com. You're listening to Something More with Chris Boyd Financial Talk Show. Wealth Enhancement Advisory Services and J. Christopher Boyd provide investment advice on an individual basis to clients only. Proper advice depends on a complete analysis of all facts and circumstances. The information given on this program is general financial comments and cannot be relied upon as pertaining to your specific situation. Wealth Enhancement Group cannot guarantee that using the information from this show will generate profits or ensure freedom from loss. Listeners should consult their own financial advisors or conduct their own due diligence before making any financial decisions.